Okay, hello there and welcome to the fourth session of the IELTS course. My name again is Joseph Emil, and in the three last sessions we have taken a look at this listening section of the IELTS course, of the IELTS test, and some of the strategies needed to complete it successfully, of course. One of the main strategies is to focus on the fourth section, in that we take a little bit of time from the beginning of the test to try to read through the fourth section before the example of the first section begins. So during the time in which we prepare for, when she says there are four sections, the questions will be played once only, then she gives you time for the first section, okay? Just immediately turn over to the fourth section and read the questions until she begins with the examples. Once she begins with the examples, turn back to section 1 and then read the questions, and that's of course before the test or the recording begins. What about the reading? We have started a bit in the reading in the last time, but we haven't taken a lot. Okay? Today I will focus as much as possible on the reading strategies needed, okay, so that you can read the text as quickly as possible, read whatever matters, and at the same time not miss anything that will help you get marks on the test. Let's take a look. Here we have a typical text in the reading exam. By the way, this text is a section 3 text, so it's very likely that you will see texts like this in section 3, of course, and they will take 20 minutes for solution just to be solved. So that means that the reading time you usually spend on texts like these might not be enough, or yes, might probably not be enough if you are not a speaker of English as a first language, sadly. Which means we have to employ different strategies for reading this text. A text like this, I'm saying text a lot now, let's say essay or a piece like this, usually, or especially the one that has letters next to it, almost always has something like this here. Here we have certain ideas, and these ideas are present somewhere in this text, which means that you will need to find, or shall we say, find something that matches these ideas, not necessarily literally, okay, not letter or word by word. Right. Hello and welcome to session 4 of my IELTS preparation course. My name is Joseph Emil, and if you have been following the last 3 sessions, I explained the listening session, the listening module of the IELTS test, and I have explained the listening module of the IELTS test, and you have learned a lot of strategies that will help you during the listening test. The most important one of all, in my opinion, is to focus on the fourth session, and this means dedicating some time from the beginning of the test for the fourth session. So when the lady in the recording says things like welcome to the IELTS test, you will hear a number of recordings and you have to answer questions based on what you hear, things like that, in addition to say when she asks you to read questions 1 to 5 from the first section, you immediately switch to section 4 and start reading the questions there instead. When she says that, you will see that there is an example that has been done for you, okay? You switch back to the first section and continue reading the questions given to you as normal. This will give you a head start on section 4 so that you already know what they're talking about. You may forget the questions, of course, that are given in the 4th section by the time you get there during the test, but that won't be a problem, because once you read them again, you will be able to understand the first few questions very quickly. So this is my strategy for the 4th section, and for every one of the sections, just pay attention to the way the people speak and paraphrase. Pay attention to the conversation itself rather than the questions in sections 2 and 3. But in section 1, pay attention to specific pieces of information like name, date, address, and so on. So that is the outline of the first section of my course, the listening section, or the listening module to be more exact. And let's continue now for the reading section. I've taken a small bit of time, like 5-10 minutes. Actually, it was the second half of the course in the reading section, but we have done really general things. Now we're going to take a look at the reading section in more details, right? Specifically, some of the skills you will need while taking the reading module, which, by the way, is the second module of the test, and that comes directly after the listening module, which is the first one in the test. Anyway, let's jump in and take a look at the first paragraph here. This is a typical paragraph of the 3rd section, okay, or the second one. I think this is a bit of a short one, so it might come at the end of section 2, and for that you will need to solve it in 10 minutes, or you can see here an example of the questions here. Here is a question that asks you to provide examples of, not examples, but find the text in the, or find the paragraph that contains the text in which these meanings are written. Let's take a look here at the one after, okay? So let's get back here and take a look at this one. Since this text only has these questions, so I won't tell you exactly where it is. In this form, you will need to solve this text in about 10 minutes, all right? But this actually comes in the exam in the 3rd section a bit longer, okay, in a bit longer form, so more than 5 paragraphs, and at the same time there will be a little bit of more questions than just 7. So we're looking at 12-13 questions. That's the 3rd section of the test, and you will take 20 minutes to solve them. 10 minutes to solve this example in this form is a bit of a short time, which means that you will have to find a strategy to solve this question as fast as you can. Take a look at the question here. Again, these are some sentences. They are not present in the text, but there is a group, or there are other sentences in the text that provide the same meaning, You will have to find the sentences in the text and then match them to these numbers by means of just writing the names or writing these letters here. So, of course, pay attention to the note first. You may use any letter more than once. So, let's jump in. I'm just going to read the questions first. Reasons why children might be a better target for marketing companies than adults. Examples of some of the first products to be marketed for children. Measures taken by one country to reduce the exposure of children to marketing techniques. Evidence of an increase in children's consumption of goods in one area of the world. An increase of children's consumption of goods. 5. A comparison of the time children spend on different activities. And 6. The common reason for arguments between children in the same family. Just a moment. So, Again here, a common reason for arguments between children in the same family, and an in-store method used by shop owners to encourage consumerism in children. So these are a bit of a stretch here, there are lots of words here. So as written, or as I said earlier before here, try to look for the keywords. Again, keywords. Reasons why children might be a better target. So better target. Children, better target. That's one keyword here. Children, better target. Examples of some of the first products to be marketed for children. Measures taken by one country, okay, to reduce the exposure. Evidence of an increase in children consumption in one area. So increase and one area. We're looking for a comparison of the time children spend on different activities. So different activities and of course comparison here. A common reason for arguments between children in the same family. So arguments. Of course, same family needs to be paid attention to as well. Arguments, same family. An in-store method. That's a long line. Let's just remove it. An in-store method used by shop owners to encourage consumerism. We're looking for these words. So let's turn back to the first sentence here and read quickly. In the 18th, let's just look for the first one here. Reasons why children might be a better target. Send products indirectly at children such as toys. That's a lot of text to read. There's something else. I'm going to say it later in the lesson in better detail, but let's take a look here at every paragraph. Again, every paragraph consists of a topic sentence and some explanations. Right? Maybe there is a bit of a difference at the end here, but not often. So, again, let's take a look here at the topic sentence of every paragraph before answering the questions. Okay? And understand what each paragraph is talking about. That way, we will have a better chance of finding the sentence that matches the questions in the next page. Anyway, in the 18th century, products aimed directly at children, such as toys, games, and books, began appearing in shops. So we were talking about beginnings. Right? Beginnings. Here, there is now, of course, he will be talking about the history, and then he will explain what happened then next in the 18th century. Then he might extend his talks to the 19th and 20th century, maybe. So it was not until the 20th century that children became major consumers in their own right, with the ability to buy items and so on. Okay? There is now a huge range of children's products, from potato crisps and sweets. By the way, potato crisps is the British expression for these potato chips, like, you know, Lay's and other products. So potato chips. Right? But that's just beside the point. Let's take a look here again at the paragraph. So there is a huge range of children's products, from potato crisps and sweets to athletic shoes and video games. Manufacturers and retailers are adept at packaging these items in bright colors so that they catch the eye of the children, and are placing these goods at the lower shelves of their stores. So if you remember, this could be the answer to one of the questions here. Okay? Their stores. So here, lower shelves. So that they're at children's eye level and within easy reach of their hands. It's assumed that, okay. Children are in many ways the ideal consumers. So the second one, they're saying that there's a huge range, and so maybe the paragraph, lots of things for kids or children, okay? Just saying it in short here, kids. Lots of products for kids. Let's take a look at the next paragraph. Children are in many ways the ideal consumers, being more susceptible than adults to changes in style and fashion. So, of course, next we will be talking about examples maybe, okay? And providing a ready market for the latest crazes. It comes from crazy, by the way, crazy. As a result, a huge amount of money, $2 billion US every year in the United States alone, is spent on advertising to children, and last year's, and so on. So we're talking also about some money here and so on. Television ads, so here, maybe we can say children are better consumers. Maybe. So children are better consumers. Next. Direct influence on parental purchases. Okay, let's just skip to the next paragraph. Television advertising is seen as a major reason for the rise in children's consumerism. It's estimated in Western countries, children between watch 15 and 18,000 hours of television, something, spent in school. So here we're talking about television. Let's take a look here at television. Okay, then let me just circle this word here, television advertising. That's the subject of the whole sentence. Again, let's take a look at the last one. The European Union is considering regulating. Regulating is to organize, to limit. It's not to prevent completely, but to organize, limit. All right? Let's just reduce here. Regulate is limiting. Advertising and children, and the Scandinavian are the countries on top of or to the north of the European Union. I'm talking about Sweden, Denmark, Norway and Finland. Country of Sweden now has already banned such advertisements from primetime children's television programs. So Sweden has banned something. So we're talking about limiting here. Okay? So if we get back here to the questions, here, you will see that the questions are very clear now. Reasons why children may be a better target. So it's definitely somewhere here, are better consumers. All right, so the answer for the first one is C. What about the next one? Examples of, and here I'm just going to put it here. Examples of some of the first products to be marketed for children. So they're definitely some time ago here. So maybe the 18th century. Toys, games, and books began appearing in shops. Began. So the beginning, so that's A. Measures taken by one country, Sweden, so that's the last one. Here, E. And let's quickly skim here. Evidence of an increase in children's consumption of goods in one area of the world. An increase in kids' consumption, maybe. So we're talking lots of products for kids, maybe, or television advertising. Let's take a look. So it's in a huge range. This is one of the difficult questions. By the way, if you feel that you'll be spending a lot of time on one question, just put a circle on it, skip it, and move on to the next one, so that you don't waste much time. A comparison of the time children spent on different activities. All right? So here we are comparing television with things like schools and so on. So it's definitely D. Comparison, D. A common reason for arguments between children in the same family. We have never read that, so we might as well just skip it for now. An in-store method used by shop owners to encourage consumerism. We have read stores here, lower shelves of their stores, so that's a B. Here, B. Of course, once again, we don't have to worry about letters being repeated because it's okay according to the note here. You may use any letter more than once. Evidence of an, let's get back here to the questions. Evidence of an increase in children's consumption of goods. Let's take a look. Children's increase. Hey, a major cause of sibling rivalry is resentment that a brother or sister has a new toy. So that's definitely referring to the argument between brothers and sisters here. Okay. Again, let's take a look at the next one. Evidence of an increase in children's consumption of goods in one area of the world. Increase in children's consumption. Let's take a look here at today children are often conditioned from an early age, consumerism, lots of products are kids. What about children are better consumers? An increase. We're talking about they were something and then they became something, maybe numbers. So, and in last year, children's direct influence on parental purchases in the US was estimated at 188 billion as opposed to 5 billion in the 1960s. That's an increase. So, C. So, as you can see, I've spent about 10 minutes or a little bit more than 10 minutes in solving this one. Okay, of course, if I were a bit quieter, if I just read this in my time or read this silently, of course things would have been a bit faster. But right now, we have spent not much time reading as opposed to just reading the entire text and then going back and forth and trying to solve every question. We have understood what we're looking for, and as we are reading the text here, the answers are presenting themselves automatically. Right. Next, let's take a look at some of the paraphrasing in the paragraphs or the text themselves here. So let me just remove any lines here. Okay, and I'll just remove this line as well, hopefully. Okay, this appears to be in order. Let's take a look here at the lines here. A major cause of. It's a bit clear. It's in line 9. A major cause of sibling rivalry is resentment that a brother or sister has a new toy. A major cause of. So a primary reason maybe. Okay? If we are going to use completely different words to deliver the same meaning, I would just say a primary reason or the main reason. Let me just write it on top here so that we can have enough space, or at the bottom. So number 1 is the main reason. What about number 2? A huge range of. It's in line 13, so let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. A huge range of children's products. We're not talking about just a lot of children's products. We're talking about a wide variety. Wide variety. That's also a huge range. So number 2 could be wide. By the way, questions like these will never appear in the IELTS test, especially in the reading one, because lots of words can be, or lots of answers can be right, and the exam is corrected by a computer, which means that this one will never appear in the test. I'm just explaining how certain phrases can appear in different forms to deliver the same meaning. Catch the eye, line 17. Here, 20, 1, 2, 3. Catch the eye of the children. So in bright colors so that they catch the eye of the children. catch the eye, which means attract the children's attention. Maybe attract the attention of. 3, attract somebody's, the children's attention. Alright, so that's something. Alright, that's the answer to 3. At children's eye level, 19, so that they are at children's eye level. Eye level is at the same height with the children, so maybe at the same height. 4, at the same height as the children, or as the children. Okay, I'm not talking about the children, I'm talking about the children's height. So that's why I used an apostrophe here. Alright, so at the same height as the children's. What about within easy reach? 19 to 20. Here we are. And within easy reach of their hands, so shall we say within reach of the children? Close to them maybe. When I say within reach, I am saying that the children can, shall we say, extend their hand and take the products, or close to their hands. Someone is close to, maybe. Right? So that's 5. In many ways, so we're talking about line 23 now. Children are, in many ways, the ideal consumers. So in many ways, we're talking about in different fields, or in many aspects maybe. Alright? In a lot of aspects. Don't use a lot, okay. So a lot, 6, in many aspects. Alright? Or, let's say, we will take a look at this later. The latest crazes. A craze is what drives people crazy. Certain products that drive people crazy. This course was recorded in autumn 2015, so you definitely have been acquainted with some of the fads. A fad is, shall we say, the latest fads. A fad is something that attracts the attention of almost everyone, but for just 2 or 3 weeks, a month at most. So things like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, or the Harlem Shake, or most of these fads are or only last for just a month or so. And sometimes these fads are associated with buying certain products. So these companies start a fad, to market a product. Differentiate, line 55, here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under 10, so this decision was taken after research showed that children under 10 were unable to differentiate between a commercial and a program. Wow, so children under 10 were not able to tell the difference, and just say here 8, the difference between a commercial and a program. Alright, so here we are, we now know, we can guess how things, or we can guess how certain phrases can be paraphrased. Okay, so they would have a different phrase say it, but that different phrase would have the same meaning, and this is how it happens. Let's take a look at another paragraph. Okay, we will be doing a lot of reading today, so I hope you have enough energy. Make a cup of coffee or something. Anyway, sifting through the sands of time. Okay, the sands of time. That's a very popular expression. When you're on the beach, you're stepping on ancient mountains, skeletons of marine animals, even tiny diamonds. Sand provides a mineral treasure trove. A treasure trove is a rich source of something valuable, okay? I think it's clear. So, source, so a rich source. A rich source is a treasure trove. A record of geology's earth-changing processes. So, sand. Let's take a look first at the questions. What two substances made by humans are mentioned in the text? So we're looking for artificial. Substances made by humans, we're looking for something artificial. Which part of a grain of sand have scientists measured? So we're looking for the measurement or of a certain aspect or part. What two factors? A factor is, shall we say, an agent, okay, or a criterion. I'm just going to label this here. So here, factor is criterion. By the way, the plural of criterion is criteria. Criteria. All right. So again, what two factors of determine the shape of a piece of sand? Right?